So I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Dartmouth Youth Commission. I'm opening the meeting, which has been duly posted in accordance to the state law and the town of Dartmouth by law on Wednesday, October 8th, 2025 at 7 p.m. This meeting is being conducted remotely due to Governor Healy's execution on March 28th, 2025 of a further extension of hybrid remote meeting options to municipalities, which legislation extended the option through June 30th, 2027. This is a public meeting held remotely through the Zoom application and is being recorded. Because this is a remote meeting, all votes will be taken by roll call. I'd like to start the meeting with a roll call. Commissioner Matos?
Here.
Commissioner Goldsby?
Here.
Commissioner Machado? Here. All right.
So
We have a quorum.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, the only person missing is Commissioner
Hirschman. Yep.
Yes. Okay.
All right. All right. So meeting's officially started. Next on the agenda is to approve the meeting minutes from February 2025, February 12th, 2025. Sent those out earlier. Did everyone have a moment to review those?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. All right. Are there any corrections needed to the minutes?
No.
No.
Okay. All right. So the minutes, if none, then the minutes are approved as presented.
Okay.
All right. So we have an agenda that was submitted. I'll try to follow that as we chat. So yeah. So why don't I open it up to Dolores, our youth commissioner.
All right, thank you. So I want to start off by saying that we do have Bonnie Savage that is with us tonight. She put in her application wanting to be part of the Youth Commission. So she is invited here to come to the meeting to meet some of the commissioners and to kind of see, you know, what we do as the Youth Commission. So thank you for showing up and thank you for your interest in being and wanting to be part of the Youth Commission. That's very exciting. So like I said, I sent out my report, what I do. We meet average quarterly, and I do a quarterly report and submit it to the commissioners to let them know kind of what I've been doing as the youth advocate. And unfortunately for me, I did not print my report, so everything is going to go from memory. We weren't able to have a meeting in May due to not having a quorum, so I can start pretty much from there, I'm assuming. It's pretty much business as usual. I do attend a lot of community meetings, so I'm still attending community meetings. I am on the subcommittee for prevention for the Greater New Bedford Opioid Task Force. So that's one of the new committees that I'm part of. So the Greater New Bedford Opioid Task Force, and they have a subcommittee which is prevention. So I sit on that committee. So that's new that the commissioners aren't aware of, and they have the report. So everything that I'm saying is on the report. I attended a youth conference in Beverly this year too. It was paid for through a grant, so that was amazing. If I'm able to attend again, I would. I just will definitely leave a little early because that was a very long ride going to Beverly. So I did that over the summer because school is out, just trying to prepare for the fall. But I did work with School on Wheels. This will be, I think, my second or third year working with them, getting backpacks for youth in Dartmouth. So we were able to do over 120 backpacks for all of the schools in Dartmouth. And when I say schools in Dartmouth, not just Dartmouth Public Schools, my job is to be the youth advocate for any youth that lives in Dartmouth, regardless of what school they attend. So we were able to give backpacks to Dartmouth Public Schools and also to Bishop Sang in our sister school, because we do have some Dartmouth youth that attend our sister school. So we were able to do that. What I'm working on now is the holiday drive, which takes place in December. So I'll give you a little backstory about that, Bonnie. So the Dartmouth Police Department every year, they do like the toy drive at Target. So since I've been in this position, I've partnered with them to help collect toys and distribute them to youth in the community. So I will be doing it again this year. So I reach out to the schools. I have a form, they fill it out. I try to get what's on the list for the youth, but sometimes that's not possible. So I put on the form that, you know, we do our best to get what's on the list, but if we can't, we try to get something as close as possible. Well, what I've noticed is that when we do the toy drives at Target, it's for younger kids. So if you have a 14 or 15-year-old or someone older, there's really not much that gets donated from Target. So I had a few of my coworkers approach me maybe 2 years ago stating that they would love to sponsor a youth for the holidays. So I had to try. Ended up, I apologize. Sending out an email to my coworkers to see who wanted to participate. So we had about 30 people from the town that works for the town of Dartmouth who stated that they wanted to sponsor a youth for the holidays. And I actually had two more of my colleagues approach me saying that they would love to sponsor a child for the holidays. So with that being said, you know, my goal this year is to pair the sponsors up with some of the older kids so that we're able to provide holiday support for some of the older kids and continue to do the toy drive for the younger kids. Also, with the last couple of years, and with the help of some of the commissioners here, reached out to some of the daycares to find out if I was able to support some of the youth at the daycare centers, and I've been doing that also. So I will definitely reach out again this year. I'll reach out to some of the commissioners for contact information from the daycares so that we can provide holiday support for youth at the daycare. So the holiday drive at Target this year will be Saturday, December 13th. So it usually starts around like 9 o'clock in the morning. And they usually fill up a lot of buses. I think one year, I think they had, I want to say like 5 buses one year, but they do have a lot of buses that they fill up. And any of the commissioners who want to just pop in or want to be part of that, they're more than welcome. Like I said, I'm a department of one, so I rely on the help of others to help me with this because it is a daunting task, but every year. And each year I try to do something different. So I'm very happy that I'm able to do the sponsors this year. And who knows how this turns out. If I'm able to sustain this or get some assistance, we may be able to broaden it out to maybe to get some more community participation. Right now, I just don't have the manpower to reach out to the community to see if community members would like to sponsor a youth. But who knows, maybe down the line with some more support, I'll be able to extend it beyond the town of Dartmouth employees to community members. So that is what I've been working on. I actually sent out the information to the schools today to have it back to me by the end of the month or maybe the beginning of, so that I can start pairing the students, I'm sorry, the youth to the adults so we can start getting the information, get the, well, I don't want to say toys, whatever they decide, whatever's on the list they're getting for the youth to get that stuff rolling. Also, I am in a leadership class now. So it's through MMA, it's Massachusetts Municipal Association. They offer a leadership certificate program in leadership and government. It's a year-long program. So every Friday, with the exception of a couple of Fridays, I'm in class every Friday. So that's a certificate program. So if I choose to move on and do something in municipal government, it gives me some extra knowledge in different areas in the municipal government. So I do that class every Friday. I'm not doing it this Friday, next Friday, because we have a break, but that is exciting. What I didn't say also, because we didn't have the last meeting, is that I finished up the HR seminar. So Mass Municipal Association offers seminars for anybody that works for municipalities, whether it be in finance, whether it be in HR or the certificate program, because the ultimate goal is if people are working in municipal government, they may want to move around. So you want to encourage people to take classes and to learn as much as you can. So for me, learning about finance, how to do strategic planning, even though I may not do it specifically in the role that I'm in, it kind of helps me understand like what goes on in the town. So I will be doing that until the end of May. So on Fridays, if I'm not in the office, that's where I'm at in class. So it's hybrid. So 3 classes are online and 2 are in person, and it's in Hyannis. So 2 Fridays out of each segment, I'm in Hyannis. So I'm trying to think what else. School is back in. So wanted to say this too. Um, we were able to hire a substance use program coordinator over the summer. What you don't know this, Bonnie. So the town of Dartmouth, along with some other municipalities, got awarded money through the opioid settlement funds. So the last 2 years, we haven't had someone dedicated to do that. So myself, along with a select board member, have been chair and co-chair of like the advisory committee, trying to figure out like how to utilize the funds in Dartmouth, what would be the best way to use them, what are the needs. And in that time frame, we wrote a job description because we realized that we needed someone dedicated to do that job because I just didn't have the capacity to do that and the work that I do too. So we did hire somebody. So I really worked closely with her. So we're going to be like kind of brainstorming and strategizing how my position, along with her position, can maybe do some preventative work in the schools or with some of the young people, maybe some after school programming, things like that. So I'm really excited that I have somebody that I can partner with. And that there are funds because my job right now, there's no extra funding for things like that, but we're able to use some of the opioid funding as long as it meets the criteria to do some of those things for youth in Dartmouth. She's also going to be working with adults, but for me specifically, like what can we do for the youth in Dartmouth and what are the needs for the youth? One of the things that happened before she came on board was we had a meeting with the high school and excuse me, we utilized some of those funds to put in vape detectors in all of the bathrooms and also to do the Wayfinder curriculum. So the Wayfinder curriculum was going to be for all of the youth at the high school that even if they're not vaping or doing, or have any illicit drug use, excuse me, it's still a curriculum that talks about healthy choices, healthy behaviors. And if you are, feel like you need some assistance with some things, through the curriculum, they can reach out to the substance use program coordinator or myself. So that's something very new. So we will see how that goes, and I'll keep everyone informed about that. So not excited that we got the funds, but excited that we have the funds that we're able to help people in the community. So I know that was like abbreviated version, and I apologize because I don't have my report in front of me. So I was just trying to pick out like the major things that went on. But the basic things that I do, I'm part of the DCF advisory board. So we meet quarterly. So I've gone to a couple of those meetings since our last meeting. I also am the board chair for the bridge in Dartmouth. So we just actually had a meeting with the bridge. So we just had a board meeting, and I also sit on the board for PACA that's in New Bedford. So those meetings continue to happen, and just the local meetings and things that go on in Dartmouth or New Bedford that I try to attend the meetings that relate to the work that I do. I think that's it. If I missed something, I apologize, but I know it's in the report and that will be made for public record so everyone will know what's going on. That was a lot, Caitlin. I was trying to remember what I'm like.
Looking at your report to see if there's anything.
Yeah, if there's like any thing like, oh, talk about this. Thank you, because I know I sent 2. I'm like, I can't remember what I sent this today.
It feels like you talked about a lot though. That was a loaded amount.
Yeah. Oh, what I did the summer too, because like I said, we did hire a coordinator, the substance use program coordinator, but before she came on, this would be the second full year that the town of Dartmouth did for the International Overdose Awareness Day, which is actually August 31st, but the town of Dartmouth always does it the Thursday before the 31st. So that's the date that we put on the calendar. So this is the second year that Dartmouth has done it exclusively by itself. So before our coordinator came on board, working with the DART team getting that on board. So when she came in July, she just kind of finished up what we had already started, and we did the event in August. So each year, we do something different, and hopefully, as time goes on, people will feel more comfortable attending these events. We had a small crowd, but if only 2 or 3 people show up, my motto is the 2 or 3 people who showed up are the 2 or 3 people who need to show up, right? So now that we have somebody dedicated to that, that's not my full focus anymore, but that was a big event that took several months of planning, but we're already, thinking about what we're going to be doing for next year. So even though it falls under the substance use program coordinator, I definitely will help her coordinate that or do whatever I can to support her in that. I think that might have been it, Chris. I don't know if there's anything else that I might have missed. There's like, oh, talk about this, because I can't.
It looks like you're like collaborating a lot with like the schools, like the counselors and stuff like that. You've mentioned a couple times in this report.
Yes, I'm working with the counselors and trying to, like I said, because we have the substance use coordinator and going into the schools, working with her collaboratively to see that what are the needs and how can we assist you. I believe last year, that's the one thing too, that at Dartmouth High School, they did like a day of no hate or a day of kindness. And I know the commissioners, there was a discussion as if that we could utilize some of the funds for that event because it wasn't for a specific group. That event was for the whole school. And I think that was one of the conversations that we wanted to have at the May meeting. It didn't happen. For the Youth Commission has some funds that were raised over the course of some years. I want to talk about, I know too, about the camp. Over the course of some years that sit in an account, and the commissioners have discretion as far as what the funds are used for. I have approached the commission on a couple of occasions to see if they would be willing to utilize the funds for certain things. One thing in the past that we utilized the funds for was for a student who was having some difficulties here at Dartmouth High School, but really wanted to graduate, but wasn't sure if they would be able to graduate with a traditional diploma. Ended up doing a program through New Bedford. Wasn't able to pay the full amount, so the commission ended up paying the portion that the student wasn't able to pay, and he did graduate. So I felt like that money was for good use. For the Day of No Hate at the high school, even though there was one club who was the lead, there were multiple clubs at the high school that worked collaboratively with that one club, and the funds that the commission gave to that event were used for the entire school. So they made friendship bracelets. So they all made friendship bracelets, whoever wanted to participate at no cost to the students. So I felt that was a good use of the funds, building bridges and being able to use it for the entire school and not just one individual group. So if there's ever a need, I definitely bring it to the commission, or the commission may come to me and say, hey, what about this? And as long as, it's, for the betterment of a youth or for, a greater cause, the money can be used. Also, what I didn't get to talk about, because we didn't have our last meeting, summer camp. So summer camp went well. So there is another pool of money, Bonnie, that has been sitting in an account for a while. Is a donor that wants to remain anonymous that gave money to the Youth Commission and reached out to the commission a few years ago stating that they wanted to use those funds to supplement summer camps for any youth, any Dartmouth youth. So it didn't matter what camp they attended, they would supplement that youth going to camp. And by supplementing, that means that, the camp has to offer scholarships. The parents apply for scholarships. If they get the money, fine. If they don't, then there's a portion that would be used by the commission to help pay for camps for the youth. The commissioners were tasked with the responsibility of choosing a camp. It was up to the discretion of the commission what camp they wanted to choose. And for the past couple of years, I think we've been using the YMCA in Dartmouth. They are a great partner. We collaborate well with them. The only stipulation for the donor was that they wanted to make sure that the money was used to reach out to as many youth as possible. So if a repeat youth showed up, we put that youth on hold to make sure there wasn't a new youth that hadn't utilized the funds. And the YMCA is really good about that. She keeps really good records. I keep good records also. So in the last, I think we've been doing it, what, 2 or 3 years, there haven't been any repeat youth. So we've had siblings that were able to go to camp, that, you know, may have gotten scholarships, but the parents still owed a portion, and the commission based on those funds were able to pay that so youth can go to camp. So don't have that number with me right now. I know it was probably, I think about 12. I believe that might have been a total of 12. So what happens with those funds, it dwindles down, and once it dwindles down, and then, you know, it's not going to be replenished. What was decided when we met with the donor was that 20% of whatever was in the account would be used for the following year to pay for camp. So of course, the number goes down because the money's not, you know, being replenished. So I think we kind of figured out that we will be able to pay for maybe up to 5 years of camp for kids. I mean, I feel like that's better than nothing. And I think the parents truly appreciate it. Actually, I didn't get a call, but the YMCA director got a call from a parent who said, "Thank you so much. That really helped." So I'm glad, you know, things like that are really helping the youth in the community. So those are some of the things that the commissioners, they do. Like I said, this year we'll be talking about, or they will be talking about, if they want to continue to use the YMCA, or should we kind of look at another camp. Like I said, there's no stipulation on what camp it is. The only stipulation is that it has to be a youth that lives in Dartmouth. I didn't think I had a lot to say, Caitlin, but I did say a lot. I think that is, yeah, that's all I have. If anybody has any questions about anything that I just talked about, definitely, you know, I'm here to answer any questions.
So for Christmas, is it just
Holidays for the
holiday?
holidays, yeah.
For the holidays, is it just for one youth, or is it for if they have siblings?
Yes. Thank you for bringing that up. So the way the form reads is, so I'll use an example. So if, you know, so we'll say you, Shani, you have, you know, the form goes home for your child. Your child goes to Dartmouth Middle School, but there's a sibling that may be at the high school or 2 at the elementary school. I have it on the form that is for the youth, and then if there's any siblings, please put, you know, the siblings, whether it's you have a 5-year-old sister or a 3-year-old brother, and the things that they like. So it goes to the school for that youth, but they add their siblings onto that form too. So that's very rare that I get forms back and it's just one, you know, a single student. Is usually that student and their siblings. And I get gifts for everybody that's on the form.
Is there an age cap, like for the student?
As long as they're in school, no. But like I said earlier, it was been difficult for like the high schoolers because the things that are donated at Target, because people like to buy for the holidays toys for young kids.
I think it's easier to shop for younger kids.
Yes. So I feel really bad for some of the older, and not just high schools, sometimes it can be middle schools. I mean, I still send it out to the middle schools, and I have gotten gifts for middle schoolers, but you may have a 13-year-old who, you know, there's really nothing that's donated at Target that will fit his or her like wish list. So, you know, I'm going to have to sit and go through the list and kind of go through the ones that may go to the sponsors, or the ones that, okay, we're able to get something off of the bus for them.
Yeah. Can people donate gift cards, or is it just like they have to purchase a toy?
You mean at Target?
Yeah.
I think they can, because it's through the police department, and I believe they do, because I think last year, I wasn't able to do it last year because I wasn't in the country, but so someone else did it for me. And when I came back, we had some, you know, some older kids that we weren't able to match with gifts that were on the bus. And what happened, the police department went out with a town employee and kind of bought some things from the gift card. So I do believe that people donate gift cards, and they utilize that for gifts that may not be
Oh, it says thank
They
you.
do accept gift
Thank
cards
you.
and cash to buy
CCTV.
gifts. Thank you, DCTV. Because DCTV is there too. So
Yes.
it's a big event that they have there. It's like televised. It's a fun time. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good to know too, because like you're saying, if they can't like find something that would match their wish list, like using the gift card, maybe you could shop for something on their list.
Exactly, exactly. And I try to, I try to be as transparent as I possibly can to let them know that, we do the best we can with what's donated, but if you're asking for a specific toy, it may not be that toy, but something similar. So I let people know it may not be exactly what you've asked for, but something similar. And we don't wrap any of the toys because we want to have the parents and the guardians, like we give it to them and however they present it to their child is how they present it to their child. So to give them, a sense of being a part of this also. So, and the schools are a big help because, they give me the names of the kids and I do a spreadsheet and all that kind of good stuff. And then I deliver it to the schools and the schools are responsible for making sure that they're given out to the families. However, whatever system they use, I trust them to do that. The daycare centers, I usually just drop that off there and let the director take care of that.
And what kind of help would you need from the commissioners if you would need some help this year?
Oh, I would need definitely some help. If anyone is so inclined, there's a couple of things. If the commissioners want to show up on Saturday, and we can talk about like the time frame to show up to help kind of gather the gifts off the bus, because I try to have, this is a work in progress, because I usually have about how many kids? Sometimes like 50 kids that I'm getting gifts for. So if you're thinking 50 kids and 3 to 4 gifts a kid, that's a lot of gifts. So if I can have people there to help gather the gifts off of the bus to put them in bags for me, I usually have carloads, like plural, of trips to take to the office to bring the bags. If commissioners want to help like for an hour to do that, that's great. If they're not, there are like at least 2 days that I work in the office that I go through the gifts, sort them by family, bag them up to have them go to the school. So that could be another project. It doesn't have to be during regular business hours. It can be like at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock because I have access to town hall. If we wanted to coordinate a time, like I can help you come in and sort through the gifts so that we can package them up to send them to the school. I need people to do that. Delivery, I've been really fortunate that I have really great colleagues that I work with that they help me deliver them to the schools. I've had DCTV help on occasion. I've had the Council on Aging utilize their vehicle to help. So getting them to the schools is not the hard part. The hardest part is actually what time on December 3rd would be good? Oh, Caitlin, I don't know quite yet. You mean to go to Target? I will get back to the commissioners because I usually reach out to the police department. I don't go when they start. I usually wait until the toy drive has been in progress for maybe a few hours so that there's items on the bus. So it would probably be mid-morning, but I definitely will let the commissioners know. And if you're able to show up, that would be great. Even if it's 30 minutes or an hour or whatnot to kind of help with that, that's great. If you can't do that, if you want to help sort later, we can definitely arrange a time for that to happen too. But I definitely will let everyone know. But it's usually a few hours after the drive has started that I go because I want to make sure there's items that I can go through to start packaging up. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely keep us updated. Yeah.
No, it's a lot of work, but I enjoy it. I really enjoy it. It's a lot of work. So that's one of my big projects that I do. Besides the backpacks, that's a big project too. And this year, I was really lucky to have there was a volunteer organization in Dartmouth that put all the backpacks together and they actually delivered them to the schools. I delivered to Stang and to OSS, but they delivered to the other schools. The year before, we had one of the select board members and her granddaughters delivered the book bags to the different schools. So there's a lot of support. I mean, I do have a lot of support in that area, so I'm very grateful. That's it for me, I think. If I'm missing something, I apologize.
I don't think so.
Yeah. And Bonnie, if you have any questions, please feel free to jump in.
Okay, in that case, how do you find the sponsors?
Well, the sponsor, this is the first year that I'm doing it. So the sponsors are actually people that work for the town.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think one of the questions that someone asked me, are sponsors just people that live in Dartmouth? And I told them that I don't have the manpower, the capacity right now for that. So this is a pilot project that I'm starting with just colleagues. And if this turns out that I'm able to sustain this and maybe reach out to the town to see if there are individuals in the town that want to do this, but I would need definitely some support for that because that's a big undertaking. But this is the first year that we're doing the sponsors and it's town employees. That is the end of my report, I think. Yes.
Yeah, and so that covered, we had on the agenda the holiday giving, so that covers that too.
Yes.
I think the only other thing we really had is just to kind of go over a calendar for the upcoming meetings for 2026 and maybe to even just talk about the future of the Youth Commission, are there things that we want to do and involve ourselves in. So I think we have a couple of potential new members, we've had a couple of members that we've lost, and so maybe just having a discussion around what do we want this to look like, our role to look like, that kind of thing.
So I think to give Bonnie some backstory of that too. So the Youth Commission is an advisory commission to the Youth Advocate myself. So I know in the past that the commission has done some fundraising in the past. And I think there was some discussion about maybe trying to, previous commissioners that were on, one of their things that they really wanted to do if they had robust fundraising was to maybe start some type of scholarship, like a youth commission scholarship that they can give out to youth. That could still happen down the line, but it would have to take some coordination. But those were some of the conversations that were had. Yeah, I think that was it. I know the scholarship was one of them, maybe doing some fundraising or maybe down the line, if we were able to do some fundraising and if it was successful, have some type of signature, event or some signature fundraiser that looks like the Youth Commission, that people know if it happens, that's the Dartmouth Youth Commission that's doing that. And any of the funds that are raised, like I said, is the discretion of the commission, how you utilize it. I mean, there's some parameters, of course, because, we're a municipality, but if it's to benefit any youth or youth and family in the community, those are conversations that could be had by the commission to see if the funds can be utilized for that. There's a little bit of funds left, and once you come on board, Bonnie, I do periodically will send out to the commission the report from our accounting office that tells how much money is in the funds, so that the commissioners are aware. We try to be as transparent as possible about that. Are we going to look at the calendar?
So did you want to kind of just book 2026, Loris? Is that what you were thinking?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Did you want to book all of 2026? Is that what you were thinking?
Well, and it's up to we feel like as a commission that will work for everyone, because you'll have the standing date on your calendar, that might work. Because like I said, the commission meets quarterly, so this is October.
January, right?
Because we'll have to start talking about summer camps too.
Yep.
So January, February, definitely, yes, because we'll have to start talking about camps and getting that process rolling, because people start enrolling their kids in camp. Yeah. So do you want to look? And that will be after the holiday, so I can give a report as far as how the holiday giving went, what went well, what didn't go well. Am I able to sustain this or not? I mean, the toy drive, I definitely would do that, but I'm not sure if I will be able to sustain the sponsorship, which I hope I can. So if we do January and then quarterly.
January, April, July, October-ish?
Do we meet in July? Did we meet in the summer?
So we were supposed to meet in May, but then we weren't able because we didn't have a quorum and
Yes.
or booked another meeting. So I think we normally met like in July or August in the past. Like, we've had a
I
summer
think it might have been
meeting.
like about August, I think maybe
Yeah.
August. So if we do January, April, because I think April will be
Summertime.
good because I think that will be, we can start thinking about camps in January and maybe have something solidified or have a deeper conversation in April so that I can start reaching out to the list. If the commissioners say, hey, can you check on this place or this place, I can start looking at that and get back. And because I have to do a formal letter and all that kind of good stuff too. So, all right. January. Okay, so if we want to look at our calendars for January, this is Wednesday. I'm telling you, the third, is it the third Wednesday, second Wednesday? I don't even know what the day
I
is
think we've
today.
been kind of like flexible. We've
Mhm.
got the 7th, the 14th, the 21st, and the 28th.
So if we meet,
I think the 28th, I'm solo for childcare for the week, so if we could avoid that, otherwise we're gonna have two little kids in the background.
no, I wouldn't do that. Do we
Yeah,
want
no.
to do we want to do the 21st? I mean, it's right after a holiday, and what I didn't mention, which is on the report, I sit on the MLK committee, and that is the MLK expression contest that happens every year. In the past, it was only open to New Bedford students, but since I've been on the commission and encouraging them to open it up to surrounding areas. So this will be, I think, the second or third year that it's been open to Dartmouth students, Acushnet, Fairhaven, and we actually have students in Dartmouth that do a submission and have won. So
Nice.
I am so excited about that. So, and that takes place on, the event actually happens on the 19th. So if we met on the 21st, I can give the commissioners some information about how that went, how many students from Dartmouth entered the contest, whether they won or not. I'm just excited that they are entering the contest. Super excited about that. So January 21st to 7 o'clock still work for everyone? Is that a good time?
It works for me.
Yeah, because Bonnie, would that work for you? All right. No pen, of course. I don't have a pen. So if we did January, and then do we want to look at, so we know that we're going to meet in April. So if we keep it, well, I don't know. I don't want to assume anything with people. And well, it wouldn't be the third Wednesday because isn't that spring break or something?
April vacation starts, I believe.
It is. That's the
20th,
third.
The 20th.
Yeah,
So there's
it's
5
whatever
Wednesdays in
holidays
April.
on that, whatever holiday is on that
And
Monday.
Patriots Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I'm
there's
try-
5 Wednesdays actually in April. We have 1, 8, 15, 22, and 29. But
Let
we
me
want to
find
stay away
out
from
what,
the 22nd, like you're saying, Shanae.
because that's the week, that's the holiday week, right? And that's
Yeah.
spring break week, that week of the 20th.
Yep, so we got one April 1st, April 8th, April 15th, and April 29th.
Let's just want to do April 8th.
Yeah.
To do it because, and the reason why
Yep.
I say April 8th is because the systems of care will be on the 16th. Because I'm trying to think when they're gonna have the summer camp people come in.
They usually do it in March.
Isn't it March? So I think that'll be good if we talk.
Usually March or April.
Okay,
You're
so
right,
let's just
yeah.
do, so if we do April 8th, if they do it in March, I may have some information about different camps too.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
that sounds.
all right. So I think that's pretty good for now, and then we can like regroup from there. So we'll have like 2 solid dates on the calendar, and we can email that out to Commissioner Hirschman so that he's aware of the upcoming dates too. So the 21st of January and the 8th of April. Okay.
Oh.
Oh, I thought somebody said something.
All right. Are there any other announcements from the commissioners?
anything exciting
Anything else?
happening in people's lives?
No.
Anything else anyone wants to bring up? Anything, topics of discussion? Any questions, Bonnie? Any other questions you have for us or?
If I could just kind of recap my understanding of the commissioner's role, is to support you, Dolores, who works for the town of Dartmouth.
Yes.
And so it's whatever it kind of voluntary, whatever you need in the projects that you're working on.
Yes, and also to and the commissioners too, if they wanted to, like I said, in the past, they've done some fundraising to kind of help the coffers so that there's money if we needed to do certain projects or if there's certain things that go on. So that's up to the discretion of the commissioners, but it's more of like a support and an advisory role. I may bring some things to the commission, or they may say, hey, have you thought about A, B, and C? So more of that. Yeah, more along those lines. So I think you hit the nail with the hammer. And there could be new things too. You know, it's always nice to have, you know, a fresh voice. I think you'll be the newest voice behind Caitlin. She's the newest commissioner on the commission. And there may be some things you're like, hey, have you thought about doing this in the community, or has the commission thought about supporting A, B, or C? So I don't want to say the sky's the limit, but you know, anything's up for discussion, right? And if it's within the parameters of what we can do, we definitely would do it, because our job is to support youth in the community, youth and families in the community, right?
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, thank you for coming.
Happy to be here.
All right, any other comments?
No, just keep us posted about the timing for December 13th, because I'd like to try to give you an hour at least.
Thank you. And it's
Sounds
so
like a
cute.
lot.
I'm gonna send you a picture because we have a new town administrator. So when I sprung this on him and said, hey, I would love, you know, this is an undertaking, but I would love to do this and open it up to town employees if they wanted to sponsor a child. I will say this as a disclaimer. A couple of years ago, there were actually 2 of my employees who approached me and said, is it possible for us to kind of sponsor, you know, one of the kids that you're doing the toy drive for? And they did. And I was like, oh, maybe other people would be interested. And so I sent out an email just to get a feel to see if people would be interested. And I was really surprised at how many people responded. So I ended up buying from Amazon, because we're saying holiday of giving, because I know that everybody doesn't celebrate Christmas, but there may be, you know, you may do some things in December, however you celebrate or whatever you celebrate. That's why I try to use the term holiday. So I didn't want to call it a Christmas tree of giving or tree of giving. So I did a fireplace of giving. So I ended up buying a fireplace from Amazon. So that's going to be set up in our break room. The town administrator gave me permission to do that. And I'm going to have little cards on the fireplace with the students' information. Well, not their name, just like the age, the gender. I'll have a code on there so I'll know who the student is, because they don't need that identifying information. So it's going to be set up in the break room. So once that's set up, I will take a picture and send it to everybody, because I'm just super excited about the setup. I'm super excited about people wanting to do this, to sponsor kids. And I'm hoping that that this is successful. Maybe I can brainstorm some ways to kind of make it broader to incorporate, you know, people in the community. And then if any of you commissioners would love to sponsor a kid, just let me know. You can do that also. You can have, you know, you can be a sponsor too. Just let me know if you want to be a sponsor too. And I will give you all of the information. And who knows, maybe eventually I'll be able to do it as the town, like a holiday giving. I know Child and Family, I used to work at Child and Family too. I don't know Chris does too. They with 365 days of giving them, but that's a big undertaking. There's more people than just one person in one department. But I would love to maybe one day be able to open it up to the town if I get more support. So we'll see how this project works this year.
Right, any more announcements from the commission?
And Bonnie, I'll be in touch with you next week when I come back, because we're not, town hall is closed on Monday if people didn't know. So there's nobody working on Monday at town house. So I'll be in contact with you on Tuesday, Bonnie, if that's
Right,
okay.
enjoy your trip.
Oh, I'm super excited about warm weather, Miami Beach.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
So, all right.
All right, do one of us need to move to adjourn?
Yeah,
Okay.
so. All right, so,
Motion to
since we
adjourn.
didn't get any more comments, and we're at the end of our meeting, can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'm
Right here.
Okay, can I get a second?
But-
All right, it's been moved and the second to adjourn. All those in favor?
You could do a roll
Aye.
call.
Commissioner Matos?
here. Hi.
Oh, yes.
Hi.
Commissioner Kowalski.
Yep.
All right, this meeting is adjourned at 7:48 PM.